Let's talk about the top 5 habits I would recommend developing in yourself to be successful as an ROTC or NROTC candidate. The first one that I would highly recommend, that the sooner you get better at this habit or the more you can instill in yourself, the better. The first one's going to be utilizing your white space time. White space time is basically free time that you have in between scheduled meetings, events, and important things that are just filled in your day. Being able to utilize white space is a really good opportunity to get ahead of a lot of tasks that you normally wouldn't think you had time for. Really good candidates and really good cadets in ROTC and NROTC exhibited these traits. They would be studying publications when they're waiting for their meeting to start. If they knew that there was a fitness evaluation test coming up in a certain period of time, they would utilize the 15 minutes before that event to start warming up while other candidates and cadets were getting their gear on. So using these opportunities are really good ways to get ahead of things that might not be something that you could prepare for necessarily. As an officer, your Marines, your sailors, your airmen, your soldiers, they're all going to have downtime. And sometimes there is a lot of opportunity in using these guys as white space time to train things that they may be deficient on, to brief them on the big picture of what the command is doing for this field op, things like that. You'd be surprised at how many cadets fail to utilize these little gap pieces of time to make themselves better academically, even spiritually, or even physically. The second thing I think cadets should be really, really well versed in across the board in all branches is PowerPoint skills. Being really good at PowerPoint and Excel are some of the most effective ways you can consolidate information, effectively brief it to a group of people, a whole room of senior leadership. I've seen it make or break people's confidence in the presenter if their PowerPoint is not organized, if it doesn't look like it's well formatted, if they're struggling to set it up on the TV or the projector screen. I've been in those shoes myself, where it's really hard to convey important information to an audience if you are not proficient or savvy with doing presentations and creating even Excel training rosters to put on your PowerPoints. Excel is heavily used by the military. It creates hit list of people that need to do certain trainings. It creates names like dates, blood types, all kinds of essential information. The third one that goes along with what I just said is going to be public speaking. There's so many opportunities as an officer that you will have to refocus the team towards the bigger picture. And the most effective opportunity you have is to show that face-to-face interaction with the people you're in charge of, and to be able to effectively communicate inspiration, focus, and addressing things that need to be addressed as a group, as a team. Be comfortable talking in front of groups and be able to articulate things very clearly to a wide range of audiences. And the best way to do that is honestly to record yourself talking, practice interviews, just practice these skills in small ways throughout college. Even take classes in public speaking if you think that would help you. The fourth one, this is a really good habit that will serve you a very, very long time. It's going to be your ability to explain why certain things are necessary, why tasks are necessary, and how it ties to the big picture. There's some stupid rules, some really dumb tasks that we sometimes have to ask our team to perform because it meets a requirement somewhere else in the organization. Sometimes the junior level guys don't understand why they have to do something. The better you can be at explaining why a task needs to get done, the more buy-in and willingness to execute you're going to instill in your subordinates that you lead. If you can't explain why something needs to be done, that's also your opportunity as a leader to challenge your senior leadership to inquire about, do we really need to do it this way? Are we just doing it because this is the way we've always done it, or is there a more effective way to do it? If I can't justify why we had to do something to our Marines and the team that I was in charge of, I would challenge it to my senior leadership in a professional way. And finally, the fifth one is just going to be timing. Some guys never figured out their time management. So classic example, let's say the unit is about to go on a 9-mile hike and the step off time is 6 a.m. There were guys that would show up at 3 or 4 a.m. to pack their gear, to just kind of stand around and not really do anything productive with their time. They just wanted to get there early to be early and be the first people there. And it affected their performance. The most effective guys that could manage their time, they would show up at 5 a.m., they would stretch, warm up, and as soon as it was time to put on their backpack, they were putting on their backpack and going for the hike. There's some guys that will throw on their plate carriers, their assault packs, and all their gear, and then they're just gonna stand. They're gonna stand in the formation until it's time to step off, and they've already been wearing their pack for an hour before we even start the 9-mile hike. There is such a thing in the military as showing up too early for some events, and it's gonna cost you sleep, it's gonna cost you preparation for something else, so you need to get really good at finding that happy medium that is going to allow you to effectively show up before you need to be ready, but not so early that you're sacrificing sleep, fatigue, and you're giving up other things as a result of your paranoia for being there too early or too on time. If you're constantly what we call gunny timing or trying to do things too early in the military, it's going to stress out your subordinates, and your team it's infectious to your team in a negative way if they feel like you set a timeline for 6 a.m. for 7 a.m., but then you're expecting people to be ready at 5 a.m. because you're walking around frantically trying to ask why things are not done when those things are in the works as they should be per the timeline. Something to keep in mind, and it's a skill that you will definitely develop, but I recommend really paying attention to it now and not wasting time being too early to something. For more insight on these things, I have a course coming out. It's a fully comprehensive course on NROTC and everything you would need. And it's basically a documentation of all the mistakes I made and the things that I wish I knew at the moment that I needed to know them. And it's coming out this summer. If you want more information, feel free to check out the description of the video, and thanks for watching.